Hi everyone, sorry I'm just getting things ready. This is just a really quick impromptu live because I thought we'd have a go at drawing from the new book now that I have it in front of me. If you haven't seen my latest video, you'll see me unboxing all of these goodies from Johanna that she sent me today. So just bear with me while I set up because I can't see your comments at the moment. I'm just going to go on my tablet so I can read all the comments. Okay, I think I'm set up now, so I can see. Oh, hang on. Turn the volume down. Right, let me just have a read through your comments then. Oh, no, I've took it off now. Right, here we go. So hi Robin, Katrina, Adri, Sean. Hey up my duck. Are you from round here, Sean? Deirdre, Adele, Joanne, Amanda, Ella, Charmaine. Have I missed anyone? Kenny, hi Kenny, Amanda, Hannah. Yeah, I think I've got everyone. Alfie. Right. So yeah, I just thought what we'd do is have a bit of a go at drawing something from the book. Very impromptu and on spec. So I haven't really been doing it much in the way of practicing. But, you know, let's just have a go and see what we can do. So hopefully I can see all of your comments now. Now, Joanna sent me this pad of layout paper, which I wasn't sure if it was tracing paper or not. I think it probably is. If you put something underneath it, yeah, you can see through it. So I'm guessing with it being transparent, it's supposed to be tracing paper. It's just a bit posh for me, layout paper. Oh yeah, I think you told me actually, Sean. Right, okay. So what we can do just quickly, because I've actually just put the chicken in for dinner, so I've got about half an hour before I have to put potatoes on, and I thought why not just come on live and have a chat with you guys, because I don't do live streams anymore, so it's nice to just do one once in a while. So we've got all of our ocean things here. What should I do? Should I do something floral? Shall I do something underwatery? This looks really cool, ship in a bottle. So let me know, what would you like me to do? First comment gets it. Hi April. Hi Jo Beth. Hope I'm not missing anybody. Sorry about that, it keeps going all blurry. Hopefully we're good now. Do a bird. Right, Sean says do a bird, so that's what I'm going to do. So let's find the bird bit first. I did actually practice a few birds the other day. Just as a bit of a, I mean, it was getting really dark and I couldn't be bothered to get up and put the light on. I was using a ballpoint pen, so it didn't exactly go, you know, as perfectly as it would if I was sat at my desk. But I thought I'd have a little go. Got to find the birds now. I bet they'd be in the... Would they be in the garden section or the forest section? Probably the forest section. Ah, there we go. So let's have a go at drawing a little bird perched on one of these branches. So I'm going to use the pencil that Joanna sent. This is the Staedtler Mars Micro 0.5mm lead. I've not really had too much experience using these pencils before, but I don't think they can be much different, can they, to standard pencils. I'll keep my eraser close by because no doubt I'll definitely need one. Let's zoom in a little bit. Oh, that might be too much. Let's see. Sorry about my squeaky chair. So that's right, yeah. So if I put it here, you should be able to see it. Okie doke. So which one shall we do? Let's have a look. Why don't we do why don't we do this robin kind of creature here? I think it kind of looks like a robin. I'm going to call it a robin. Right, so the first thing, mind you should be able to see, shouldn't you, really, the steps. Let's zoom out, but not. Sorry, you're going to be getting a little bit of motion sickness for a minute while I sort this out. Oh, this is so much more difficult than the iPhone. Right, okay. So let's go for this one then. So Joanna says that we have to draw, it's sort of a little bit like a bean shape, but it's more tapered at one side. So I'll give that a go. And I find it easy to do things quite big at first, you know, just to get a handle on the shape itself, because I think doing things smaller, you tend to get tied up in little intricate details, and there's not enough room. So I'm going to try it this way. So I've basically done a flat line diagonal going up from bottom left to top right, and then I've curved it round, and I'm going to continue to curve it until we meet it at the other side. So really already I've probably done this a little bit too close to the branch, because the legs aren't really going to have enough room. So with that in mind, let's try again. Let's do it a little bit higher up this time. So you'll notice that I do things really slow. I'm sure Joanna could just bang these out, you know, super, super quick, but I do it slow, and I try and get the exact shape, even though it doesn't have to be exact. I do try and do it as exact as I can anyway. So that's the sort of shape I think she's after, this sort of bean shape with a point on one side. Then we're going to draw in this top wing. So for this we need to extend the bean, let's call it, and then it needs to get wider as we go up the bird, but I don't want to go too wide. I want its belly to have enough room as well, and then we have to bring it in and bring it out again for the face. So that's not too bad at the moment. As you know, we can always mess about with it when we go into the inking stage. So this is really nice to use, actually, this pencil. It's keeping itself nice and fine for the detail. So then we have to come out at a bit of an angle here. So it's almost like you're making a V shape just here. And then curl again, curl it in, and there we go. It's not too bad, probably a little bit thick, but it doesn't matter. Hi everybody, if you've joined and I've not said hello, sorry, I'm just really concentrating on this at the moment. I'm no good at doing two things at a time. So we've got a little teardrop shape just there, and another smaller teardrop shape underneath. That's not too bad. Then we've got our feet. So with the feet, I usually do, when I've been doing them, I usually do a slightly diagonal line for the legs, and then a completely flat horizontal line for the feet. And then it's all about doing the little inky details. So I just want to check with my shape, check back in before I do the ink. So yeah, I don't think it's looking too bad at the moment, is it really? I think it's looking pretty much the same as what Joanna has done. Let's just put our little beak in. And there's a little bit of a shape up here that I'll just draw in quickly. And then don't forget the eye. So yeah, I think that looks pretty good. Right, let's have a look at which pigment liner to use, because we've got 6 different widths of nib. Now I know that the 0.05 is the really teeny tiny one, and the 0.8 is the excuse me, the fattest one. So let's try a 0.3, because that's kind of in the middle. Let me just do another line on this branch and see how it matches up. It's probably just slightly thicker. Let's try the 0.2. Yeah, I bet it was the 0.2 that Joanna used to draw this, because it seems to be the right width, thickness, whatever you want to call it. Oh, I don't think so, Sean. If it takes me this long to draw a little bird. But don't forget, people keep telling me, oh, you're really good at doing this drawing. I'm just copying. You know, I'm brilliant at copying. But, you know, coming up with something out of my own brain, no, no. I've often tried to do those creativity journals, Wreck This Journal, if you've heard of that, and stuff like that. But then I can never think of any good ideas, so I always end up going online and just seeing what everyone else has done. Okie doke, so let's put ink to paper now. This is kind of the scariest bit, isn't it? Well, let's give it a go. So you probably will get, you know, more comfortable and more confident with things as time goes on. You know, as they do say that practice makes perfect, and I suppose it is definitely true when it comes to drawing, because the more you do it, the kind of quicker and the easier it becomes, I guess. See, I don't know whether you can pick this up on camera, because I haven't got it zoomed right in, but I have super shaky hands. Like, normally I'm fine, you can see kind of quite steady, a little bit shaky, but when I'm drawing it just seems like, you know, all of that control goes out the window. So that's the biggest thing really for me, is keeping all the lines straight, and also gaps. You know, when Johanna draws a flower, say for example, let's just have a look. So say she's drawing this flower here. How does she keep, hang on, we're not blurred, are we? How does she keep the gap the same all the way around this outline? And how is it so neat and tidy? You know, that's what I need to sort of practice on and learn. Hi, Andrea. Most artists use reference and collage copy. Yeah. Well, I definitely would need to use a reference. The things that I've drawn in the past have always been using a reference. I think, like you said, every artist does that. So I'm just keeping an eye on the finished piece here and just seeing that we are doing the right details and we're inking the right things. So with the legs, I've got to make them sort of 3D, which maybe I should use a thinner pen for, because this one seems quite thick for the area that we've got. Yeah, can you, that leg has gone just completely pear-shaped, but you know, just ignore that. Let's do his little eye, and then we've got a few little details that need to be put in, and that's where I'm going to crack out the 0.05. So a couple of little, well actually they were going that way, but hey ho, a couple of little details there, and then we've got some coming up. Is it perpendicular? Is that the right? No, it's perpendicular cross. No, you know what? The same way as the top of the wing. So, and they kind of gradually get a little bit longer and then shorter. That'll do. And then we've got a little dot in the middle of these teardrops and a little line. And then we've got some dots just underneath the wing and the face. And a few little hairs. I reckon that's it. Let's make sure it's dry. Yeah. And rub out the pencil and see what we're left with. So if I just zoom in so you can see him a little bit better. Not too bad for a, well, I say a first go. I have had a little bit of practice, but still, as you can see, the lines are really shaky. It's thicker in places than others from probably the pressure that I'm using, different pressure, and that foot's just, it's obviously there's something needed to be looked at there medically, but yeah, not too bad for a first go, right? So how is everybody? Who have we got? We've got Tammy, we've got Sheila, we've got Heather, we've got Jo Beth, English is better than... No. Well, I did actually get an A in English at GCSE, you know, so... No, I did, but I'm not going to boast. How is everyone? Talk to me. I've not spoken to you all in ages and ages, so I would absolutely love to know what you've been up to, what you're doing at the moment, what you're colouring, how's life, just in general. Just while I've got this little window of time to chat to you all. And while I do, I'll do another little drawing. So we've done our little rocking robin. Yeah, I probably will use a thinner pen. I'll have to just give it a go. Trial and error, isn't it, really? Hi, faithful girl. Hi, Angie. So, flowers. I want to do something I haven't done and see how we go. I've got leaves. I'm just realising that you can't actually see the full book. So we've got leaves. I could try a leaf, but I want to do something a little bit different. So we've got a boat here. I don't really want to tackle these big ship in a bottle bottles yet, but maybe we could add a boat or two to these waves on the next page. It means I'll have to flip it a little bit. So is this the first boat that we see that we get to draw? Oh, the paper is really thick. Let me just go back a little bit. Oh, we've got really pretty shells. Maybe I'll do a shell. Sorry about the blurring, it's my camera. I was supposed to have a really decent phone for camera, but obviously not. I think when I settle down it'll be okay. Oh, this is a boat. Okay, we can do boats here. Oh, these are quite detailed boats. Let's do this one over here in the corner. Am I okay now? Am I still blurred? Let me just check. No, it's still blurred. There we go, back into focus. Right. Okay. So let's draw the boat first and then we can put a wave underneath it. Or do we do the wave first? Let's have a look. So first of all, number one, draw the base of the boat first, then add things like the wheelhouse, safety rails, etc., etc. Okay, so let's just do a little wave then. Even my wave is kind of flat on the bottom. I'm even berating myself over the curvature of my waves. Let me have one more go. That's it. That's a little bit more kind of went off towards the end there. Oh, this stupid camera. Honestly. Am I in focus now? Yes. Right, so we've got the wave. Now we have to draw. Oh, this one's quite cute as well, isn't it? Let's do this one. So we've got to draw, first of all, this is a step down here, a little diagonal line. And then we go across quite far. And then another diagonal line this way. And just going slightly up, so tapering your line slightly up. I'm just going to extend this terrible wave, and then we swing this line back down. So that's the base of the boat, or the hull, apparently. Used to live on a boat and I didn't know that was called a hull, so you see how much interest I take. Secondly, we've got a little Y-shaped pole thing to do. So normally at this point I would be like super anal and use a ruler, but I'm not going to because I can't find one. I haven't got one at the minute, but let's just give it a go. So about there, maybe a little bit higher. Is there a little rubber in here? Sometimes there is, you know. I don't think so. Okay, so we've got our first little stick, and I'm sorry if this is just excruciatingly slow. Why is my camera doing this? Should I give it something to focus on that's not a white page? Will that do? Let's see if that makes it better. Right, so trying again to keep the gap the same width. That's not too bad. And then we've got to do a diagonal one from about there. Obviously you don't have to do this exact to Joanna's specification. I think the whole point of the book is for you to just learn some really basic bits and then do your own stamp on it, so you could just customize it and do whatever you want. But that's not too bad at the moment, that little Y shape. Now then, what's next? Oh, this little hut, I suppose, is where you would sit in the boat. So it's a line down, and then I'm going to do the other side first so that we know where we're going with the top line. And that one is slightly higher, so they can meet together like that, and then we can extend it a little bit either side, and again just trying to keep that gap the same. It's probably just the perfectionist thing of trying to make everything look perfect and, you know, exact. Hi to everybody who's joined since I started. Sorry if I'm ignoring you, it's just me trying not to mess up. Right, step 3, so we're going to start with this little net. So we'll come down and then we'll do it a sort of upside down V and some horizontal lines across. So again, I'm just trying to keep gaps, but maybe I should just be a bit more chill with things instead of trying to make everything, you know, completely precise. That'll do for a bit of a net for now, won't it? It's not as long as Joanna's, but you know, we can always do that in the inking process, I guess. But for now, I'm going to leave it because this is my first go. I can always have another go. Sean, yes, I know that there are a couple of other bloggers getting their books today, so I won't be the first for long. Hi Tammy, hi Julia. Okay, next up we've got a little bit of a little N shape. So sometimes I find it easier to copy drawings if I give them a shape that my hand already knows kind of automatically to do. And by that kind of waffling description, what I mean is, instead of saying just draw a curve from there to there, I would say that this looks like an N. So because my hand already knows how to draw an N, it just automatically kind of does it. If I keep that in mind that I'm doing an N, I hope that makes sense. It's just probably a bit of weirdness from me. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely throwing it down outside, and I've got the back door open. It's so loud. Let's see if you can hear this. Hang on. Don't know if you can hear that, but it's really, really loud. Tammy, this is Joanna Basford's new book, How to Draw Inky Wonderlands. And then for the O, again, that's a circle, isn't it? So it's going to be, what I would probably do is just do the shape just above the paper without touching it to the paper a few times, and then eventually touch the paper, because you're sort of getting your hand going, and then when you touch it to the paper it should make a pretty decent circle. Should. And now for the top we've got a T, so let's do the top line first, bring it down, and then that bit there. This is turning out pretty well, guys, got to say. Now then, we've got 3 squares for windows. Now who's going to bet that I can't get these squares lined up? So they're kind of on an angle a bit because that's on an angle, so let's just follow the line of this top section here. So let's do that, and then that. These windows are quite large. Okay, maybe if I take that whole line across and do the same at the bottom, I can keep my squares in line. Let's give that a go. So I'll put a gap between, that's a bit of a fat window. I'm going to erase that. Oh, nice one, Sean. You'll love it. Okay, so that's the second window, and then the third window. Okay, so they're all kind of different widths. That's okay. That's okay. Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's just me being too hard on myself, I think. And the whole point of me doing this video is to show you that you don't have to be hard on yourself, and you can do whatever you like. Okay, and then we've got a couple of little circles here. So again, I'm just going to make the circular shape with my hand and then slowly touch pencil to paper. There we go, that's not too bad. Oh, it's the inking bit. Okay, let's get our pen. So we will use our 0.2 and ink it in. Right, is there anything else I have to look at? So what I would recommend, this is really annoying me why it keeps blurring out all the time. I've got no idea why. It never did this on iPhone. We'll zoom out a little bit, will that help? That's as far as I can zoom out anyway. Hopefully it will just sort itself out. So inking it in, I'm looking at the final bit before I start inking, and the reason I'm doing that is because there's little details that Joanna's put in between the last pencil step and the first inking step. So you can see here that the top of the boat, the top of the hull rather, is actually a double line. You know, it's kind of like the rim of the boat, whereas I would have probably just done that line and left it and not looked at that properly. Also, the windows in the inked bit at the end have a frame around them. So I'm not sure I'm going to have enough room to do that frame, but do you know, I'll just start and we'll see how we go. So I have made that curved a little bit on purpose, just to follow what Joanna's done here. Get your Led Zeppelin on. Oh, can you imagine if I put them on now? I'd be flipping sent to court for copyright music, because Led Zeppelin are quite what's the word? They're quite stingy with their rights for their music. So I think it costs like I think it must have cost Simon Cowell like millions to get to use Kashmir for Britain's Got Talent, and I think it cost Marvel loads as well to use Immigrant Song for Thor. So as you can see, I'm going completely over where I've done my N and my little Y, just to do this thick edge to the boat. I could have done it underneath, I guess, but I've done it over the top, so see how we go. Just draw it in, and I'm doing it quite fast now, because sometimes if I do it fast, it seems to keep the line. Sometimes it just totally messes up. That's not too bad. It got a bit thick at the end there, but that's okay. Let's bring the front of the boat, starboard. What do you call the front of a boat? Let's bring that in a little bit. Okay, so that it's just underneath that rim. That's overlapping it a little bit. Let's do our little Y now. And then this bit. Another tip I would give you is to turn your book often so that your wrist isn't at a funny angle, because that'll just definitely affect you know, what your result comes out like. So let's do this net. I'm going to leave it a little bit shorter so that I can get more of a V on here, like I said, and do a few more horizontal lines so it looks a bit more similar to Joanna's. And I'm going to make them slightly narrower, the gaps as well. And then we do 2 lines from the top of the V for the net. That's a little bit better, I think. Next up, we've got our N. And the little hole in the middle, or the circle. Like, my inking is never ever going to be perfect, because it just isn't. So I'm trying, really trying not to worry so much. I'm going to extend that a little bit at the back, because that's what Joanna's done here. And again, just trying to keep the lines straight. Starboard is right, port is left, stern is back, and bow is front. Did you just Google that, Sean? Come on, tell me the truth. There we go, for the little T on top. All right then, Heather, sorry it's not been super interesting so far, but, well, you didn't say that, that's what I'm saying. Then we can come down here for this little hut area, and down there. Now, our little squares. What I might try and do is use the squares that we've made as the frame rather than the actual window. So let's give that a go. So I'll put these in first of all. In the Sea Cadets, I didn't even know that was a thing. I've heard of the cadets, obviously, but not the Sea Cadets. So they can be the frames for our windows, slightly wobbly frames, nothing wrong with that. And then we've got to try and draw in the tiny little windows inside. So again, quite rough, not perfect. And then we have these two little life, oh my God, I swear my brain is just depleting. Life rings, I want to say. Okay, so let's just do them. Oh, that one came out quite big. Let's try and make the other one the same now. Not bad, not bad. Now I've got to do a circle inside. And again, not bad. You know, these pens are actually really making things a lot easier. Because I think if this was a normal pen that I've been using, it definitely wouldn't. Life preservers. Did I said life preservers, didn't I? I'm sure that's the first thing I said. See, I was second guessing myself as always. Okay, so we need the little tiny pigment liner, the little tiny 0.5, just to do a few little details on that Y. So we've got Emily on. Emily is a fantastic illustrator. Emily, can you tell us if there is a secret or a trick to keeping your hand steady and keeping lines straight, and also keeping gaps, you know, the same width as you go along? Like, you can see these windows are ridiculously different widths. So are there any tricks or tips that you can give us for that? Because that's one of my biggest things about drawing, really, is I just can't keep things straight. We also have to do some lines on the boat to kind of show a bit of a wooden look. So we've got a line, we've got some dots, and then just keep kind of doing bits like that. So so just ignore the silence. Ignore the silence. What's the word I'm trying to think of? Just give me a minute while I concentrate. What's your pressure and how much you're pushing? Right, okay. So that's the thing that I tripped up on when I was trying to do calligraphy or hand lettering, is the pressure. I just couldn't get the hang of the different pressures. Sean says, your layout paper Tear a little bit and use it to lean on as you draw, prevent smearing. Yep. These pens are actually really good at drying very fast, so I don't think there's any worry about smearing for these. For straight non-wobbly lines, be confident. You can go slow but draw at a good pace. If you go too slowly, your pen's might... Yeah, that's exactly what I do. I do go too slowly and just end up ruining it. I think that's it. So let's just... I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to rub out all of the pencil, and then I'm going to draw that wave back in, and hopefully get it looking a bit more like a wave than it did before. So I'll start, have I got the right one yet? I'll start here. Again, I'm sort of tricking my brain by saying we're doing a half circle. So if I say that while I'm doing it, it makes it easier for some reason for my hand to follow what my brain is thinking. That's not too bad, is it? I'm really pleased with that, actually. Obviously there's bits that are annoying me, like the window and the stuff like that, but I think for a first go that is not too bad at all. Robin, oh my goodness, I do that all the time when I'm watching people's videos. The pens that I'm using, Tinksy B, is the Staedtler Pigment Liner 0.2, and I've also got the 0.05 for the little details. I'm just keeping an eye on the time. I've got about 5 more minutes before I've got to go and peel my potatoes. So is there anything anybody would like to ask or see on the book? I am going to be doing a whole review of the book where you'll see every single page, or you can just pop over to Joanna's Facebook because she showed you all the other day anyway. But if there's anything you want to see or anything you want me to quickly do within the next few minutes before I run, let me know. Laura Colours 2 has a good starting method she posted for sketching. Fantastic, Tammy. I'm going to definitely go and find that because Laura is another fantastic illustrator, and any tips and tricks, you know, I'll take them. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. You know, all I want to do now is colour it. Shall I put a bit of colour on it while we've got the last few minutes? So I've got a little box of spare Prismacolors here, so I'll just have a dig through and see what we've got. Okay, we've got a light umber and we've got a dark umber. Fantastic. So let's do a bit of the boat, a bit of the hull. See, I'm learning something new every day. See, now that I'm colouring with quite dark pigment, you can't see too much of the detail, but I will be using the light umber as I get sort of more towards the centre of the hull. Who's coming to the Bath event next month, the Colour in Heaven event? Because I'm really excited / really nervous about it. So I'd love to know if any of you guys are coming. I can't wait to meet everyone, but at the same time it's scaring me silly because I'm just so, well, you know how I am, just so awkward. It's better when I've got a pre-recorded video that I've written notes out for, and I sound much more confident and capable than I do on these lives because I kind of have to think of what I'm saying and then I just lose my whole train of thought. But I am really excited to meet everybody, and you know, I probably will forget who you are. So for example, if Debbie the Doodler, because I'm just reading your name, if you were there and you came up to me and said, "Oh, I'm Debbie the Doodler," I wouldn't be able to remember anything you've ever said to me. I've just got a really, really awful memory. I'm basically Dory from Finding Nemo. This is light umber. So just adding a bit of colour to it because, I don't know, it's weird, it looks unfinished. I think being so used to colouring rather than drawing. Hi Sammy, we're just talking about the event next month, how excited / pooping my pants I am. Just really nervous. But I'm sure you'll all look after me, won't you? I was saying to Kim White the other day, who's also coming, I might try and be one of those living statues, you know, You know those guys that are all sprayed in silver, so I might just spray myself in silver and just strike a pose and sit on the table next to you so I can listen into what's going on, but sort of be in disguise at the same time. So I'm going to leave a bit of white in the centre, as I always do, just to give it a bit of shine. Not that, you know, wood really has a shine, but I just think it looks more dynamic when you're colouring. Let's do... I shouldn't really be thinking too much about this, so let me just do this bit here. And as soon as I've done this little bow, I'm going to be off. I'm going to go and make tea for the kids before they get in from school. I have a chicken in the oven, a whole chicken. It's one of those cook in a bag type things, which sounds horrendous, but they're actually amazing. So you don't have to take the bag off and it roasts inside the bag and it's just so tasty. Let's also use this for our little Y shape. Maybe I'll just do these window frames in the dark umber as well. Like I say, this is just a little mess about. Just fancy colouring it. More back in my comfort zone now. Alright then, Timmy, thank you for watching. Hi to anybody else that's joined that I've missed while I've been yapping. Let's use these because I've just picked them out. So peacock blue and light cerulean blue. Let's use those for the little hut. What do you call this, Sean? Come on, Sea Cadet. This little bit of a cabin. Is it a cabin? Yeah, Sammy, how many people have we got coming or confirmed as coming at the moment? Because I don't want it to get to the point where there's so many that we haven't got anywhere to go. Let's bring a bit of red in as well. Let's make it look all childlike, like something out of a children's book. What have I got here? I've got poppy red. Have I got anything darker? Crimson red. Let's try those two for this little whatever it is here. 20. Oh my goodness. I hope we find somewhere. That's quite a lot of people, isn't it, for a cafe? Let's do this tea as well. Oh my god. It scares me to death when a pencil breaks. I think I'm just on edge all the time. And don't forget our little life preservers. The bath event, Tammy, is the 26th of October, I want to say. It's a Saturday in October. So yeah, what I'm doing is actually, guys, it's going to be super exciting / scary as hell, because the night before the bath event, I've been invited to Alan Roberts' band's gig in Birmingham. So Alan Robert is the guy who illustrates the Beauty of Horror books, which you know I love. And I've been chatting to him, you know, for a couple of years because of reviewing the books and stuff. And he mentioned that he was on tour over here next month, and I said I would love to meet him. So he's put me and my sister, who is now taking me to Bath, on the guest list. So the night before the Colour in Heaven event, I'm going to make my way to Birmingham and watch his gig and then meet up with him and have a little chat. So this year I'll have met Johanna, Alan, and also obviously Jasmine Beckett Griffith, who's going to be at the Bath event. So, you know, for me, this is just crazy times. It's huge anxiety, but at the same time, you know, I'm really pushing myself to do it. I'm also going to do this bit here in the blue. And that's it. What do you reckon? It's quite cute. It's a really nice kind of satisfying feeling that you've created something from scratch, even if it was copying someone else's drawing. It's still satisfying to know that your hands have created something that looks pretty good. So yeah, I can't wait for everybody else to get your books. It seems like ages until the book's being released, but I cannot wait for you all to get them, and I want to see everything that you create, because I'm sure there's going to be some people that just go above and beyond and just create amazing things. So yeah, thank you for joining me on this really short kind of bumbly live where I've had to cut it down because I've got to go and put the tea on. Again, if there's anything you want to ask or say or whatever, just leave it in the comments below and I'll always get back to you. What else can I say? Just really enjoying the book, I guess, and just try not to be hard on yourself. That's the biggest thing for me, is I'm really hard on myself. So just try to enjoy it, enjoy the process. And you know, Joanna has flipped through the whole book. She is doing the Inky Art School, so you'll be able to get cracking way before the book comes out. So don't worry about having to wait ages for the book. You probably don't even need to buy it really unless you want to, because she'll be doing tutorials and things online. So yes, it will. This will stay up on the channel. As I've said, it was just a very impromptu live. I don't do live streams anymore. So this was just really quick because I had a free half an hour and I wanted to say hi to you all. I've missed you. And see if everybody's all right, basically. So yeah, thank you. I hope you have a great rest of your day, whatever time it is where you are. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Oh man, how do I turn this off?